Imagine we have a dataset of temperatures recorded on a daily basis. For example, on day 1, the temperature is 3 degrees Celsius. On day 2, it's 4 degree. And on day 3, it is also 4 degree. And this continues all the way to day 200, where the temperature reaches about 7 degrees Celsius. This is just a sample dataset. If you plot it on a graph, the left side would look like the winter months, such as January, where temperatures are very low. As we move towards June and July, the temperatures rise, and then afterward, they slowly start to go down again. Now, our goal is to calculate the average at any point t in a way that gives more priority to the most recent temperature readings compared to the earlier ones. We have a statistical method for this called the exponentially weighted moving average, sometimes also called the exponentially weighted average. Now, look at this formula. It shows that to find the average at any time t, we multiply the previous average at time t minus 1 by a constant beta, and then add 1 minus beta times the current temperature value. This formula is recursive in nature. Now, let's consider the average at day 0 to be equal to 0. We will later see what issues this can create and how to fix them. But for now, let's stick to this assumption. Now, for the average on day 1, we can simply use the formula because we already know V0 and the current temperature value. In the same way, we can compute all the other averages that follow. Now, let's talk about this coefficient beta. It is always a value between 0 and 1, but never exactly 0 or 1. This beta is a hyperparameter that controls how much the previous values will contribute to the average. The effective number of past values it considers can be estimated roughly using this formula, 1 upon 1 minus beta. So, if we set beta equals 0.9, it means that approximately the last 10 values will have a significant contribution to the average. If we increase beta to around 0.99, it means the average will depend heavily on a very large number of past values, close to 100. And if we go to the other extreme, like beta equals 0.5, the average will effectively depend only on the most recent 2-3 values. Now, if you expand that recursive formula, you will get an equation like this. Try doing it yourself by repeatedly substituting the values step by step. If you look closely, you will notice that the temperature values from earlier and earlier days gets multiplied by beta raised to higher and higher powers. Since beta is a number smaller than 1, powering it makes the value even smaller. So, as we go back in time, the influence of the older temperatures fades exponentially. That's why it's called the exponentially weighted moving average. Now, let's see the effect of beta visually. If beta is 0.9, then roughly 10 elements will significantly contribute to the average at the current time. As we increase beta towards 1, more and more past values will hold weight in the average. And as we reduce beta towards something like 0.5, fewer and fewer past values are considered, meaning the average depends mostly on the most recent points. Now, consider beta as 0.9. The average curve at those points will look something like this. If we increase beta to 0.98, the curve will look much smoother and slower to react. And if we set beta to 0.5, the curve becomes much more reactive and starts to look like a noisier version of the original data. Now, one last thing. If you try to calculate the averages using the formula while starting with V0 equals 0, you won't get this yellow curve. Instead, you will get a red curve like this one. The red curve deviates in the beginning, but eventually aligns with the actual values. The reason for this early deviation is the zero initialization. For example, if you try to compute V1 with beta equals 0.9 and V0 equals 1, you will get 0.3. Similarly, you can compute the later values step by step. And the last one can also be calculated in the same way. But why is this wrong? Remember the temperature dataset we started with. On day 1, the temperature was 3, yet the average shows 0.3, which makes no sense. And similarly, for day 2, the average is only 0.67, and for day 3, it's close to 1. This clearly does not match the real data. These calculated values eventually move toward the actual value, but not initially. All of this happens because of how we initialized V0. This problem is called bias, and we need a bias correction method to fix it. In order to fix this issue, we just have to do one simple thing. Take the values we calculated and divide each of them by 1 minus beta raised to the power t. This adjustment properly fixes the initial bias and is known as bias correction. Once you apply this formula, the average values look very different and much more accurate. Now you can see that the average on day 1 becomes 3. On day 2, it becomes about 3.53. On day 3, it becomes around 3.7, and so on, perfectly matching the real temperature values. And similarly, the last value can also be computed in the same way. And with this correction applied, the graph will also look exactly as it should. So that's pretty much everything about exponentially weighted moving average. We will be using this concept in the optimization algorithms that we will look at in the upcoming videos, like RMSProp and Adam.